What's poppin'? It's your boy Cassius Cuvée, and this is the come up. Let's get it poppin', man. What you see on the screen is a real P&L. What you see on the thumbnail is a real P&L. Those who've been following me in the profit circle know they know exactly when I entered this Ethereum short near the top. I wish I had caught that 4,700. Anyways, man, we're going to jump right into the show real quick here, man. Shout out to the chat. I see you guys waiting out there. We're doing big things today. Giving away $1,000 if I get 100 likes. I think I have to keep running this promotion, man. 100 likes, man. So make sure you tell your friends. We're going to go do the rundown real quick. But, yo, this is the come up with your boy Cassius Cuvée. Do you feel, man? All right, man. How many of y'all remember that song right there? That was Bull Market Energy that I did with BitBoy Crypto. Man, that song was a banger too, man, and it's a shame that I can't really play none of Ben's music anymore since he went crazy. If Ben can get his life back together again, apologize to everybody and make it cool again, maybe I'll start playing this song. But we had a lot of bangers together, me and Ben Armstrong, man. So we're going to let this beat play in the background. Chat, let me know if the music is too loud. I'm going to keep it a little bit quieter here. Let me see. Let me not cut it all the way off. But, man, what's going on, man? We got the chat. Got to give a quick shout out to the chat. We're going to have the rundown, though. $1,000 giveaway if I get 100 likes. If not, we're going to be on to the next one. But I also got the super chats. If I get 10, if the goal is 10 super chats, if I get 10 super chats today, you get to pick what ticker I'm going to be trading today. So we'll trade it on Breakout Prop. So there's got to be a Breakout Prop ticker. But we did that last week, and then we followed up in the Profit Circle in the Discord group after the fact. So first of all, I got to say, nothing I say on this channel is financial advice. You're going to do all of your own research. This is my opinion on the markets the way I see them. I've been doing this over 6 years now. I got a lot of experience trading stocks and crypto, and I've developed a lot of cool strategies specifically for trading crypto. So on the Come Up With Your Boy Cassius Cuvée, we always look at the crypto charts, but also check out the NASDAQ because the NASDAQ's been driving the market this cycle. So we're going to get into more of that later. What you see on the screen, too, I have to tell you, are affiliate links. So I'm partners with Breakout Prop and Fimex. If you use my Fimex referral code GMMNX5, then you can get access to the premium for 1 month of the Profit Circle, the premium side. That's where all the channels are. They have like all the trade setups and stuff like that, bullish, bearish tickers, and the market analysis. We're in there 7 days a week, so it's not just me. It's a lot of other traders too. What we see, we call it out, and we discuss it in real time. Breakout Prop. A lot of people here, I know you guys trade on Breakout Prop. Is my favorite prop firm. That code up there gets you a discount anytime you purchase any valuation, GGRF7W. And, those are my affiliate links, so if you use them, I may earn a commission. But anyways, we're going to get right into it here because the market is, I've been reading it like a book this week, man. I swear to God, pretty much ever since I got back from Miami. I mean, even when I was in Miami, man, I've been on a hot streak right now. So we've been flat to sideways as I've been calling out this whole time. If you guys are watching, I made a quick 300% right here on this pump earlier in the week. We caught this bottom down here, a few of us in the group at least, in the Profit Circle, discussed it in the market analysis. Boom, caught up. I got out in the morning right here. It was about 3 in the morning. That was about right here, this peak. I was like, I'm probably going to get some sideways chop. We had a couple scam wicks, and we've basically been sideways ever since where I got out at, and I haven't entered any new trades. Now, I'm in my Giga shorts, as you guys know. I've been in them for a while. We also got some questions from wave makers in the Profit Circle, too, so I'm going to go over those. I want to say this, though, too, y'all. Turn on the notification bell. This is the thing about not the Wile E. Coyote. We're going to come back to Wile E. Coyote. I want to say this. Turn on the notification bell for my channel, my YouTube channel. I never really say this. I always used to say on my old show, Poppin' Crypto, follow, like, and subscribe so that way you get notified every time I drop a new show. But the bell will help you see it because, I don't know, man, YouTube, these Web2 algorithms, man, they don't really help nobody no more unless you buy an ads or something. So make sure you hit that bell button so that way when I drop some new content, you'll be ready. Now, the thing is, I haven't made a lot of content lately. I've been working on this music video plus other things. So we got a new song dropping called Let's Go with my man Loudmouth. And that's going to be dropping real soon. Finished the mastering. I've already sent it off to distributors, so that's coming. And then the music video is coming right after that. So, yeah, let's shout out to the chat, though. Let's see what's going on here. Now, Blockchain Cowboy, first one in here. I put this up early in the morning. I think 3 or 4 in the morning or something. He was first one. So shout out Blockchain Cowboy. We got Fad Furs. We got Final Curse. Sam Key Gaming. We got FXG in the house again. Now, FXG he's a wave maker in the Profit Circle. He said he's been off for a while. He's back now, so we're going to look for some big moves from him coming soon. Jesse's always been loyal here, man. He was I did Twitter Spaces last week, and he was on that, got on stage there. T-Nation, back in this thing, doing big thing, always doing trade setups, so appreciate that wave maker right there. We also did a giveaway earlier this month to someone in the group. I think T-Nation's one who won it. Somebody won a breakout prop $100,000 valuation. So congratulations to that person. And then also we had a person win their they got 1 month for free for the premium group. So shout out to that person as well. So let's see. We got Final Curse. We got a King's Mentality. Okay, yeah, we know who that is. That's right now in the profit circle. We got a lot of folks who were in there every day. One person who's in there every day is King Jackpot, seeing the markets as he sees them. So he's in here. Shout out King Jackpot. Let's see. Blockchain Cowboy said that was fire. Let's go. Who else we got? We got Ninja Girl. Ninja Girl in the house. So yeah. So Ninja Girl gave me a request about a certain thing on the charts. Let's pull up the charts real quick. On the charts, you can look at this button down here, this L, this is an L. It says logarithmic. Logarithmic. Come on. There it is. Logarithmic. So it changes the view a little bit. It doesn't change it that much, though. We're going to come back to it. Specifically, she was looking at, not that one, ETH to Bitcoin right here. I had drawn a line. I think I'm putting the daily. There it is. ETH to Bitcoin, daily chart. And was looking at this. We're gonna come back to that, Ninja Girl. We are gonna come back to that. But just real quick, the difference between, I'm not seeing that big of a difference when I turn this on or off. So let me know if you're talking about a different setting. I thought that you were talking about this one here. It doesn't really show that much difference. For me, it doesn't matter too much because it's got to be on the actual price and it'll just look different. Now, if you are a pattern trader, then how you see the chart matters. You guys have been following for a while. You know I look at the oscillator first to determine what I believe the direction will be. And then I go to the price chart. But that being said, this is not a price chart. Normally, most of the tickers I'm looking at are the crypto compared to USDT. See, it says right here, SWI USDT pair. This is ETH to Bitcoin. So if you're trading in and out of ETH and Bitcoin, not USDT, that's what this chart is. So I'm going to go back to that. I have my own opinions on that. I just feel like if you're looking at this chart, you should be swapping ETH to Bitcoin. I can't look at this chart and tell myself when to buy Bitcoin or when to buy Ethereum. I need to see the USD. I got to see what I'm swapping. So we're going to come back to that in a second. So look at the profit circle real quick. This is why I wanted to have this screen up because I can open up the profit circle. I just want to give a shout out to the profit circle. So FXG, when he came back, he was like, man, I was gone for a while. When I came back, I could see how much has been popping. It's like, it's good to see the growth. And so I appreciate the growth as well. We got this is the wins channel. And, it's a little bit squished on the screen here. So can I fix that at all? Can I fix that? It's a little bit hard to make that fixed. There we go. So this is the wins channel. So down here, when you see these little ones, that's people posting their breakout prop wins because they don't have like the P&Ls as much. This is, shout out Greek Math. I met him in Miami. He's joined the profit circles, posting his wins here. This is Fimex. And you guys know you get special perks if you use my Fimex code to create an account. And so that's what he did here. And now he's in this thing. And posting his wins right here. So this is that 300% win I was telling you about. So we got a lot of people posting wins every day. Every day. Also in the future trade setup. This is on the premium side. So you get to see these different trade setups in real time. We call them out and then we go ahead and discuss them over here in the market analysis side. And it's ongoing. General chat is open to everybody. So right now, if you're watching this, you're new, come on in here, say hello, say what's up to the Wave Makers and Profit Circle. I got a question today on my YouTube channel about breakout prop. There's a lot of breakout prop questions because people need to know how you pass the evaluation. Go ahead and leave them right there in the general chat. And if I'm not there, I know someone else will answer it for you. Blockchain Cowboy is always there. He's doing his thing. So let's see here. Who else we got? Oh, we got Dalton. Let's see. Oh, they'll need the link to the Discord. Oh, it expired? Oh, man. And now that I didn't know that it was expired. We're gonna have to fix that. Oh, man. I've got to holler at the admin about that. Let me see. You know, that's been the same link for a while, but let me hit my admin right now because that's actually a good question. If the link is expired, we got to get that fixed ASAP. So let me get, I can make a new link right here. Let me see if this will work real quick. We got to have that link to the Discord. Let me just see if we can fix that real quick. See if it works. Oh, it's going to get cut off. I'm going to put it at the top. Oh, okay. I'm going to put it in the description of this video right here. Let's see if this works. Now check the description of this video at the right near the top and see if that link works. Hopefully that one will work. I'm have to get those fixed for sure. Thanks for calling that out, man. Yeah, we want to join the Profit Circle is free to join. So this is how it works. You get free entry to the general chat, this area here. Any questions you can ask in here. The premium you can get free for 1 month. All you got to do is use my referral code to create a Fimex account, GMMNX5. And they actually are having an end-of-year promotion right now. So shout out to Kai. It's my Fimex business development manager. And she was calling out this promotion here. Let's see. I got to go back a ways. We've been posting a lot of good information. You see all the trade subs. Somewhere in here I posted it, the link to the new Fimex promotion. And you don't have to click that link to enter the promotion. But it is for new folks. Here it is right here. This one here. Let's see if we can get that to pull up. And basically what it does is it gives you opportunities to get more bonuses when you deposit or when you trade and make your first trade. So you want to take advantage of that right now. But again, using my link gets you special perks, not only for just the bonuses and stuff, but also things I can't mention on here. So It's kind of exclusive perk for a partner, so you definitely want to use my link to create a Fimex account. Also, again, you get 1 month for free on the premium side of Breakout Prop. But anyways, let's get into the charts here, man. For just anybody who just joined, this is the Come Up with your boy Cassius Cuvée. Do this every Sunday at noon Pacific time. So you can see me every Sunday at noon Pacific time right here on YouTube. And we're going to go over what I'm seeing in the charts, what I think is going to happen in the markets, and what trades we've been going over. And then if we get enough super chats, we'll do a live trade. Now, happy holidays to everybody. I know that it's holiday week for most people. Hanukkah started. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, and we're gonna have New Year's. We're coming in after that. I'm gonna be doing a live stream from out of town next Sunday, so we're gonna have some stuff. But next year is gonna be a big year. I'm gonna be doing a lot more contests and giveaways. I've just started this live stream this year, so I really appreciate everybody who joined the Profit Circle this year. I just started it this year. I just started the live stream show this year. I've been trading for years. And I know a lot of the crypto influencers and things like that. And, it was about time that I have something regular because I follow the markets every single day. And I've been reading them like a book. I called the top. The reason why I put this on the thumbnail today is this Ethereum short is to show y'all that, I've been right about the markets. And I have to say it like that because there's so many people who were claiming so many things. And they got all these followers and everybody believed them. And my whole point was to keep retail from getting wrecked. Anybody who's been following me knows since the beginning, since we were still on the way up, I said, my job, my passion, I should say, is to keep you guys from getting wrecked. Not just how to make money. We can make money for sure. And so, calling the top like this, you know what I'm saying? That matters. Because people were talking about ETH to 5,500, and that's not even aggressive. They're talking 10,000 and Bitcoin to 200,000. I'm like, you guys, meme coin drove this cycle. Yeah, so I appreciate that, Blockchain Cowboy. He's acknowledging it there. He's been watching me this whole time. So that's why I keep this Ethereum trade open. You see, I entered at 29.94. 46.90. God, let me pull up ETH on the chart. And I have no plans on closing it until the bottom of the bear market because I think that was the top. Pretty straightforward there. So let's see. It was this one here. So for those who are kind of new to, I'm going to be starting next year webinars for people who are brand new. So a lot of you guys already know how to trade. A lot of people in Profit Circle already know how to trade. Maybe they're not for you. Right now on the show every week, I'm kind of this is for people who like to trade. It's for new people as well. But I'm going to be doing some beginner classes for people who are brand new to candles and tradings and all this stuff. So then when you come over here to the Profit Circle, or the Profit Circle will help you as well. But if you come to the show, the Come Up, you're going to get you'll be able to jump right in and follow along. Right here is where I entered that Ethereum trade. Okay, and it was bearish relative to Bitcoin as far as it wasn't pumping as much. This is right around the time of Bitcoin made that last all-time high. And as soon as it dropped, as soon as it started to drop, entered right here. And I haven't looked back since. So that's why I'm keeping this trade open, because I think this was the top of the cycle for Ethereum. That's what I think. So we'll see if I'm wrong. If I come back and I get stopped, I didn't lose anything. But we're going to keep that big one open. Yeah, it's been nonstop. So Maria Bridges, it's been nonstop wrecks since October 10th. I know. And October 10th was kind of like the nail in the coffin. That was the one that I was like, okay, if you guys didn't think it was over, now it is. And here's October 10th. And just so you know, too, and I did a whole analysis earlier this week in the Profit Circle Market Analysis channel. Somebody asked me about Uniswap, UNI. That was the ticker. And I said the way I broke it down was that I always just start. It's like an easy starting point is October 10th. Because we know what happened. Everything tanked, right, on October 10th like crazy. So from that starting point, right, it's kind of like a level set. Who recovered by how much? Who's been weak or strong relative to their October 10th wick? That's one of the ways I determine if they're a weak or strong ticker. So my TA is going to start back to there. So this is Uniswap. And I was like, well, you know what? Uni's been actually kind of bullish, relatively speaking, right? This wick came all the way down, but it bounced almost all the way back, sideways, got one big pump. It's been, relatively sideways compared to Bitcoin, which has come all the way down since then, right? And we were just looking at Ethereum. A lot of tickers, here's Solana, lower than that low wick on the 10th. So that's like I don't know if you want to call it like a benchmarker in the road or whatever you want to call it. But basically, have you been bullish or bearish since October 10th and then bullish or bearish more than Bitcoin since then? And some tickers have been strong, and those are the ones that if you have a bullish bias, you go on the strong tickers. If you have a bearish bias, you go on the weak tickers. In the profit circle, I already have a list. So if you guys are, here, let me pull that back up one more time. If you're like, okay, I think after the weekend, we're going to dump on Monday, but I don't personally, I don't like to short Bitcoin because it's just so strong. I'm going to find a ticker from the bearish ticker list. I'm going to short that instead because I'm going to get more beta to the downside. I'm going to get a bigger move. I'm going to get a bigger move and I have to risk less money. So where's my bullish and bearish ticker list? So right here is the bearish ticker list. And I know some folks there's a lot of tickers on the bearish ticker list. So Adam was the last one put here. They can switch. So watch the date. I update them periodically, but unfortunately, a lot of these tickers are still bearish. There's not many things that are just like turning bullish. We're in a bear market now. So, any one of these, you could just jump in here and grab one real quick. And in the group, APT, shout out to a bunch of people were in the group were shorting APT, and I think it was Blueberry, and he called it out. He's like, that's Cassius Cuvée favorite Wile E. Coyote ticker right now. So shout out to the Wile E. Coyote trade. So the Wile E. Coyote trade is a trade setup that I named that basically when these tickers that are bearish, let me pick one of those. So we'll just look at APT. And I'm zoomed in. You guys know we're day trading a lot, right? So when one of those tickers that's been bearish, I mean, if you look on this daily chart of APT, it's just down and to the right, right? It's just down. It's bearish. Clearly, it's bearish, right? Don't really take much analysis to figure that out. But we're day trading. That was days. So now this is the 1 hour chart. So that means every candle is only 1 hour. I can't remember if we were here or here, but you see these tickers get over their skis, way over there, and then like what was Bitcoin doing at that point in time, right? So that was just this weekend. I think the trade that we were talking about was over here. I think it was yesterday. But basically, this ticker's been bearish. And if Bitcoin is starting to drop, you pretty much know that this ticker's going to drop as well. So whoever entered here caught a nice move down, and once the momentum ended, you get out. You could say you could get out here, right here, when you got this green dot on the 1 hour. I would zoom in probably on the 10 minute. And if you caught this red dot entry here on this 10 minute right here, congratulations. You would ride this all the way back down. You'd get out here in this green dot here. When you got another red dot here, boom, you would enter and you'd ride all the way down and you get out this green dot here. And that's basically my scalping strategy in a nutshell. So if anybody is interested in learning how to scalp, call it out in the profit circle. Ask me to do it again. But I'm going to show you guys it right now since we're staring at one of my favorite tickers to short, APT. If we were going to short this, right, the first thing I would look at is the 1 hour. And what I would be looking for is a 1 hour red dot. This is market cipher B. This is the oscillator. So down here, these are momentum waves, just in blue. These other things, these other lines mean stuff too. But just for the sake of my super short-term scalping strategy, I'm looking at the blue waves on the 1 hour and then the 10 minute. So when this peaks, this peaks and it starts to come back down, eventually, like you see on the next candle, eventually you get a red dot on the 1 hour. So this was at what hour? 3 a.m. I would zoom into the 10 minute chart. 3 a.m. is here. And then what I would be doing is waiting for the next red dot. So a green dot's going to come first, of course. And then on that next red dot, boom, I'd enter here. And look at that great move. You would have came down here and you would have caught this. That would have been that's a relatively big move. So if you're on breakout prop and you got a $100,000 portfolio, that's a 4% move right there. Bitcoin's not going to move 4% that quickly. You know what I'm saying? Like not like Bitcoin. What did Bitcoin move from 3 a.m. till 5:50, 6 o'clock, 3 to 6? Let's see. From 3 to 6, we're going to find that just to compare it real quick. 3 o'clock was here. Well, but it didn't start up there. But even so, we'll say it starts when this red dot can actually right here. So 4:40. We will start here. This red dot down to the bottom of here. You got 1.24% move. So you don't get as big of a move in Bitcoin, which is why you short something like Atom. You don't have to risk as much money to make a bigger gain. Now, the other thing on Breakout Prop, and here's Breakout Prop. In Breakout Prop, you get 5x leverage built in underneath Bitcoin and Ethereum, and you get 2x leverage built in underneath all of the altcoins. And there actually is a video I made on that explains that very, very clearly. I haven't seen anybody else explain this clearly. It's one of the hardest things to get used to, even for an experienced trader like myself, is that built-in leverage. So over here on YouTube, I have a video called Breakout Prop, Understanding the Built-in Multiplier Effect. It's not that old. Let's see when I dropped it. 2 months ago. All right. So this one, I almost want to just watch the beginning of it a little bit just to show you guys, because this video, it does really, like, this is like, it's like a really good video to show you how to master how markets, how a breakout prop moves here. What's poppin'? It's your boy Cassius Cuvée. This has got to be the most important video you're going to see about breakout prop. I get a lot of questions in my private group, the Profit Circle, about breakout prop. A lot of us use breakout prop. If you don't know what that is, it is a prop firm where you get $100,000 of their money to trade with after purchasing an eval for $9.99. There are other levels. You don't have to get 100,000. I always recommend only getting 100,000. This is not financial advice or anything like that, but I like to have a bigger bankroll, and I'm going to explain why, because you can always go smaller. But I'm going to show you here also why you don't need as much. And part of that is because you get 5x leverage built in on Bitcoin and Ethereum, and all the rest of the altcoins you get 2x leverage. So the way that appears on here, though, is still only, now I've got 125,000, up 25,000 right now on this account. But if this was 100,000 starting out, 5x means if I were to use my whole 100,000, that means I could get up to $500,000 worth of trading power on Bitcoin. But it still only looks like 100 grand. So I have an example, the perfect example I want to show you guys the difference between Breakout Prop and my other leverage trading platform that I use is called Fimex. So Breakout Prop is a prop firm, Fimex is a leverage trading platform. And so on Breakout Prop, here we got about $1,000, and I want to give you an example, right? So let's say we were going to make this a limit order. And by the way, I already made another video. That's why I have these here. I had made some other, and for some reason it didn't work. But here's the thing, guys. I'm a better trader than I am tutorial video maker. I'm a better trader than tutorial video maker. The point, we're not going to watch this whole video right now, but Final Curse, that's one you want to definitely watch, because I literally go in there and show the math. So the key points that I'm making is that on Breakout Prop, what you see here as your balance or your position size or even your margin, none of those are actual positions. It doesn't say position size. It says balance, equity, P&L, and margin used, and free margin. Margin is how much cash money, like how much actual real money is being used. Position sizing is the position sizing after the leverage. So when we're on Fimex, so like here on Fimex, pull up Fimex real quick. When we're on Fimex, you can see your position side, right? This position is $10,000, okay? But my margin, what I'd be using on this is only going to cost me, on 80x leverage, is only going to cost me $136 right here. So margin is this, position is the actual, you got $10,000 on the trade. Breakout Prop is the same thing, you just don't see that because the leverage is built in. So if this was 5x and I had, $1,000 on there, then if I had $1,000 worth of margin, then this position would be here. Let me just show you. I'll make this. We'll make this. Let's make it 5x real quick. So you see, for 5x, it'll cost me $2,010. So basically, about $2,000 times 5 equals a $10,000 position. So that's what I mean by when I say the margin, the leverage is built in. On Breakout Prop, you're not going to see that. All you're going to see is your margin. So when you're on Breakout Prop, if you put in $2,000 here, so let's say we're going to buy Bitcoin $2,000, it really is. And the way you got to do it is by setting lots, which is a little annoying. I got to say that. Let's see, because see right here it shows 3,500. I don't know how much. I'm not doing the math exactly in my head to see how much is that. It's like 0.11, 0.12, something like that, right? 0.12. If I want to go long Bitcoin right now, this is a $2,100 position. Excuse me, not position, margin. It says margin impact, right? So this is my margin. Really, it's 5 times as big as that. That's like a $10,000 position. Okay, so he says if you have a 100K account, can you go up to 500K margin? Not 500K margin, it'd be a 500K position. So if I use all $100,000 of this, then that would be the same as having a $500,000 position on Bitcoin. But here's the thing. The way you see it is you don't get to actually see it. You see it in your P&L moving 5 times as fast. So you don't see how, like, you don't really know how big the position is. All you know is that you're making way bigger money. Now you know it because I just told you. You know it's 5x leverage built in. The other thing you're going to see is your trading fees will be 5 times bigger as well. So you got to be used to that. Because that's one thing that's kind of gets sticker shock sometimes. If I jumped in this trade and jump back out, you're like, whoa, I got hit by a whole bunch of fees. It's that because your fees were on 500,000, not on 100,000, right? If you used $100,000 worth of margin. So that matters because if it goes against you, it's going to go against you 5 times as fast too, and you want to avoid getting breached. You don't want to get breached. So I definitely have videos on my YouTube channel showing people how to avoid getting breached as well. Here's the thing. This is the thing about trading that I talk about this all day long to myself when I'm just walking around the house, all right? When it comes to trading, your job is not to guess who's right or wrong. Your job is risk management. That's the single most important thing. Making sure that you don't get wrecked, you don't get hit hard. So the rule of thumb is don't risk more than 1% of your portfolio on any trade. So what that means is if you wanted to, you could use the full $100,000 bankroll. I'm pointing over here, so my screen is over here with the breakout prop. It just means you got to have your stop loss set at minus $1,000. So then if you lose that trade, you lost $1,000. Now you got a $99,000 bankroll. That means your next trade, the risk is 1%, which would be $990. You know what I'm saying? Like it wouldn't be $1,000 anymore because you lost 1%, right? So basically, you got to keep your downside risk limited so you're never knocked out of the game. And that's basically what trading is. It's always watching your downside risk. So this is why I'm on my high horse about I've been right. It's not because I've been right or wrong or I think that's the reason to trade. It's because all of these charlatans out there who have been preaching Bitcoin to this price and Ethereum to this price, whatever, they were all wrong. Okay. And they got people wrecked because people were loading up at the top and using leverage at the top. And people could have grinded their way up to a fat ass bankroll, could have made $1 million, maybe more. But they went heavy in when they thought that Bitcoin was breaking out at 126,000. And now, boom, they got wrecked because they were using leverage. And so them bragging about being right or wrong, and it's like I'm bragging about being right, that doesn't really matter as much as bankroll management if you're trading. Now, the fact of the matter is, I was right. But as far as winning trades and stacking wins, you rather be rich than right. And that's where position sizing and risk management comes into play. And those people who do that, because they're selling the fact that they're right, they don't ever really teach you about risk management or how to put it in. They're like, oh, maybe I was wrong, one time. Oh, I guess I didn't get it right. Or most of the time, they don't even come back. They just pretend like they never said the thing, And so, I wrote a lot of notes down here. I'm like, because these macro guys, they don't have to be held accountable. Us short-term traders are. We can go into Profit Circle and see today if I was right about what I said yesterday and every day after that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I always trust the short-term traders more because you can check on their work. These people, they tell you some prediction from 6 months ago. This is the main thing I want to say. This is just common sense, okay? Especially anybody new, but even you've been doing this for a while. Is it easier to predict the future 10 seconds from now, 10 minutes from now, 10 days from now, 10 months from now, or 10 years from now? Obviously, it's easier to predict where you're going to be in 10 minutes, right? That's the same thing for the charts. All right? I can predict where I'm going to be in 10 minutes easier than I can predict in 10 hours and easier than I can in 10 days. So like the margin of error keeps growing and growing and growing if they start predicting things 6 months out and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, there's a million indicators on this chart that you could use to try to tell you where I think we're going to be during whatever time I think we're going to be there. But like at the end of the day, somebody was hella wrong if they said anything above right here. You know what I mean? Like this ticker just went, and so and Bitcoin ain't much better. Okay, so it's like, bro, this is why we short-term trade. And if I'm wrong, I can cut my losses quick, and I'm back in the game. I haven't lost anything epic, and we just bat singles, and 4 singles equal a home run. So let me check up on the chat real quick. All right, we got Kristen in the house. Thank you, Kristen. I appreciate the fact you're acknowledging that is great at Bryce. We'd rather be rich than right. Okay, what is your video called where you explain how to set stops? Oh, that was one. There's one I made just like on more like bankroll management. I am not sure. Let me see here. We got to go to my channel and scroll down. There was one that was called, let's see, I think it says like don't get breached. Let me see. It says avoid getting breached on breakout prop. Let me show you real quick. It was this one, avoid getting breached on breakout prop. This wasn't even the best video. I just kind of whipped it up real quick. But basically, it was a strategy that says if you enter 3 trades on breakout prop, you want to set your stop loss at negative $1,000 on each one of them. Because once you're negative $1,000 on each one of them, then you know that day you can't lose more than $3,000. And on breakout prop, if you have a $100,000 account, the rules were you can't lose more than $4,000 in a single day. So if you lose more than $4,000 in a single day, you would get breached. So by doing that stop at $1,000 each, for one day for those 3 trades, you knew you couldn't lose more than that. And then the next day you could do it again. And because you get minus 6,000 total as your total drawdown, but on the daily you only get minus 4,000. So I was like saying you can make 6 trades at like a 3-to-1 ratio, and then that way, if all 3 lost first day, it'd suck you down 3,000, but you live to fight another day, and then the next day you do the same thing. Well, what if you win 2 of those? You won 3,000 back on 2 of those and only lost 1,000 on one of them. You're back in the game. So that's why a lot of traders like to do the 3-to-1 ratio, 2.5-to-1 ratio. Whatever is your ratio you like to do is fine. We might let the charts decide that by looking at the technical analysis and actually saying, what do we think we want to do here, right? Like, so if you jumped in this trade here, I missed a couple of these shorts because I was working and stuff until I got back. But I caught this dip right here when I got this 300% move up in FIMEX, and that was what you saw it on the Wins channel. Basically, I had already drawn this purple box down here that showed support and resistance for Bitcoin in recent times. It was a support and resistance zone. Okay, right here, right? So it revisited down here, it bounced, it revisited down here, it bounced again. So when it revisited down here and bounced again, I was like, okay, anything basically below 85,000 is a buy. And that's what I did. Was actually in 2 accounts, one for showing, one is the bigger account. I'm one of those people, I don't really like showing dollar amounts, just throw the percentage because too many crazy pocket watchers out here. But basically caught this down here in 2 accounts below 85,000 and bounced, and just the next morning took my profit. And you could see that Bitcoin been doing this pump and dump pattern all week. Why not one more? And sure enough, it did it, And that's one of the things that, we talk about it in real time in the profit circle. I know I wasn't the only one who caught this. And boom, a lot of people ate off that one. So let me see. I got another message here. What do we got in the chat? Think I need to change strategies, but not sure which one I should use. And here's the thing. There is infinite number of trading strategies. Okay, so if you're picking a strategy, first of all, what time frame are you trading on, right? Are you going to be scalping? Are you going to be day trading? Are you going to be swing trading? That's probably the most important thing, because people will change that in the middle of their strategy, and then that'll screw you up. So first you got to know, I knew when I was doing this, looking at the history, right? This is a day trade or just overnight trade. This is not a hold it for weeks trade. This is something that is like, as soon as I get the move I want, I'm taking my profit. So for me personally, I'm looking down here at the momentum waves more than the price chart. I always say this is 80% of the cake. Down here is the cake. That's a terrible box. Down here's the cake, and up here is the beautiful frosting. You can draw your name or whatever. BTC, whatever. But really, I'm doing that to show levels, right? So we're going to show support and resistance, whether it be, look at it, ran right to the resistance line, and stopped. Like things like that, and then down here, right? Obviously, down here, I drew support and resistance. That's what this white line is right here, and I always say, I can draw a hell of a happy birthday at the top as well, but I still think this is only 20%. I think down here is the most important thing. You need to know what direction your momentum is turning. So what happened was when this came down here, and I took a little bit of a risk here that before I wasn't waiting for this 1 hour green dot. I was zoomed in at the time on a 10-minute, and I saw this, and I was like, well, momentum is slowing down right here. So we caught this one here, first green dot. Usually the first green dot on 10 minutes is not enough to stop the whole entire trend. It gave us one more, and it's like, okay, it's hitting all the markers, all the alerts. This is the one where we go in at. But you're watching it still, and you might have a tight stop loss just in case it wants to go further. But eventually you get a green dot like this. It's what's called a bullish divergence, where you get a lower low, but then what happens is the oscillator makes a higher high. Now, that's not an extremely higher high, but it's basically a second dot where that's kind of the bullish divergence. Really, it'd be more so this one to this one, to be honest with you. It'd be more like, excuse me, this one to this one. And I know this made a higher high, but that'd be what you would call a hidden bullish divergence, because it's actually now showing a trend continuation to the upside. And boom, we caught the big move. So, you know, some of it's a feel. At the end of the day, we call it out in the profit circle in real time, so we can talk about what we're seeing. I was like, look, big ass move down here into the support resistance zone. I think the momentum's slowing down. I'm looking at the oscillators down here. We get a second green dot, and that's when I start going in heavy. And, you know, I wouldn't call this a scare exactly, but usually get a retrace. You get one more opportunity, and then boom, called that out too. Boom, caught the move. I was asleep at some point. I woke up here in the morning somewhere around here. It was like 3-something a.m. right here. It was like, we caught the move. The upward momentum has slowed down. Give me my money. You know what I'm saying? Take my profit. And it was 300% gain, because on Bitcoin, I can do a lot more leverage, 80x on that, because it's not as volatile as some of the altcoins. So when I personally, this is me, when I go long, I like to go long Bitcoin. When I'm going to go short, I'll pick some shitcoin that is very volatile, but is not really, you know, I have no reason to believe that it's going to the moon, right? It's not leading the crypto market back to the promised land, right? So some of these dino coins, Atom is one that a lot of us like to short sometimes. APT, there's plenty of them. The ones you have to be careful of are the new coins. And I want to call that out, because what happens is they can catch fire. And I talk about this a lot. When you see these crazy short squeezes in the profit circle, we do call out a lot of the short squeezes, all right? And that's a great thing to have a group for that, because in the group, you know, people, you get a second set of eyes, third set of eyes. You got multiple people watching out for these, and that's where a lot of these are. These are quick plays. These are ones you want to turn on alerts in Discord, so you can jump in this right away. You see, Blueberry's been killing them. That guy's a hawk, right? So, you know, we're just calling out these crazy tickers that looking like Wile E. Coyote setups. Not everything, but this is like, you know, the more like sudden opportunities sometimes. And then what happens is they pump, and then they always dump. So let me explain better. The reason specifically why I called the Wile E. Coyote falling off the cliff is not just because Wile E. Coyote falls off a cliff. It's because he stands there shaking around for a while. And that's what ends up, that's the time that you have to enter the trade. So like I'll be looking, and at a coin like APT or something, right? Let me pull this back up right here. Coin like APT, it'll shoot up, and you got a few, you know, these are 10-minute candles. That's not very, you don't got that much time, but you got, you know, it shoots up, it gets right here. You got like, let's see, 1 o'clock till 2:30. You got like an hour and a half, you know, of it being over skis. Its upward momentum has ended, okay? And basically, Bitcoin or some coin that is tracking, usually Bitcoin, has started to fall. Sometimes it was the NASDAQ. Remember when that was what happened earlier in the week when the NASDAQ was pumping, and I didn't talk about the NASDAQ yet. When the NASDAQ was dropping, actually, and then Bitcoin popped, I was like, you guys, this divergence is not going to last very long. I called it out. Like, this divergence is not going to last very long. It was like, it happened multiple times last week. And I was like, Bitcoin is not going to keep going up. Crypto's not going to keep going up if the NASDAQ is falling. It's just not going to happen. So now's the time you load up the Wile E. Coyote shorts. So that's why I come with that analogy, where it's just like, those tickers are going to fall. They just don't know it yet. And that's when you enter the trade. And I even have a rap about it. You know, it's just, they went up and overstayed. That's why I'm overpaid. When they fall off, that's that Wile E. Coyote trade. Okay? Because they're not supposed to be up there. They have no business being up there. APT is not leading crypto to the promised land. I'm sorry, but your favorite altcoin is a shitcoin, you know, and that goes for all of my favorites too. Let me be clear on this. I am a blockchain enthusiast. All right. I felt like there was a time no one loved blockchain more than Cassius Cuvée. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I had like 80 coins in 2021. You know, they're all going to, I thought Web 3.0 was a real thing. And, you know, we're early, and, you know, we're going to see the next web tech evolution. You know, I wish I had gotten in the 90s in technology and stocks, right? And it just turned out that wasn't the case. And for me, this cycle, the thing that was the telltale sign was when meme coins pumped this market early. I was like, this shit is fake, man. I was like, this whole cycle is snake bit from the beginning of that. And that's, you know, and it was outperforming utility coins. It's like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me. And they've turned this whole entire market into a casino. And that was how I knew, once we had the fervor after the election and all that hype, that was why I started shorting all those meme coins and shit coins, all right there. You guys have seen it. I played that video a heck of times where I'm just like, I got Scarface from Tony Montana talking shit about everybody. and I'm showing my P&Ls just rotate through, and I'm up 4,000 or 5,000, about 3.5%, 3,500%, 4,500% on all these coins. I'm still in those shorts because I knew it was fake. Like, this is ridiculous fervor. Like, you guys, what's going up in here? I ain't want to duck in fear. You want to trade memes? Fine. In here, hold my fucking beer. Long-term utility, they stay fading. So fuck it. I'm making a living off day trading. And that's why I came back to this. Back to my roots. When I was trading stocks, you know, it wasn't really a matter of believing in the company. We were day trading. And when I say we, I had a group I was trading with, my mentor. Shout out to my mentor, Venture Investors. And we were doing big money on stocks. Big money. You know, he's a multi-millionaire. So basically, you know, that's where I came. I said, okay, well, we can do that in crypto too. It said we'll get even better volatility than we were in stocks. And then with leverage, you don't even need to risk that much of your own money. So leverage trading can be risky, but only if you're like using your whole bag to try to do a moonshot. What I'm doing with leverage trading on short term, that's the appropriate way to use leverage. On Fimex is where you do leverage trading. And you can see here, I got a couple of these open. These are my little giga shorts on Fimex right now. I have them in my other account. I got all the big ones, but I started doing my show and the profit circle after I entered all those giga shorts. I was so locked in at the beginning of this year. I can't believe it's been a year too, y'all. I mean, I was so locked in the beginning of this year. I didn't have a live show yet. I didn't have, you know, of course I made music videos and had trading content, but I never had a live show and I didn't have a profit circle, a private group. But so all my giga shorts are my other Fimex account. But this is the one I'm doing here for the account that I'm sharing with everybody. Zcash, I think I caught close enough to the top at 705. ZK, that was a shitcoin this whole entire time to pump for no reason. So yeah, I'm up 730% and 1,497% right now on ZK. I mean, there's just no reason, you know? Here we go. We got Stephen Hickey, Cash's brother. It's been a minute. Man, good to see you, Steve. Jumping in the chat here. So everybody like this video, by the way, because remember, we're doing a $1,000 giveaway if I get 100 likes. So let's see. I don't know how many likes I got yet. Blockchain Cowboy, how many likes we got in this thing so far? Let's see. We're not there yet. So like the video. The show ain't over yet. We still got time to do on the show. Also, let's check out the poll real quick. I am going to end the poll. How many people think that Bitcoin is going to go to 79K versus 95K? Okay, so almost 50-50. More people are bearish than they are bullish. The reason why I picked 95K and 79K is because of the trading range that we haven't hit those numbers yet. If it breaks, those are basically the lines that say if we break above or below, it's over or we're back. So let's pull up Bitcoin real quick. So I'll show you. Here we are down here at 88,259. So I said 96. I said 95K. So last time we were at 95K was way back here in November. And we tried to make a couple of pumps, and we haven't hit it yet. So that was why I called out 95K. Do you think we'll break above this or below 79K? Where we came down here, we never hit this support. We haven't been down here in months. So, you know, I'm bearish overall right now. I think the bull market is ended. But, you know, as a day trader, I just caught this long, you know, that it doesn't really matter that much. But 79K means we break below this low wick here, and we're going, you know, doom and despair, basically. So right now, 56% of y'all think 79K comes before 95K. Blockchain Cowboy says 79K. You can call out what you guys think if you voted in this poll. Boy, that's a tough one. I do think we're going to 79K. It's hard for me to not be bearish. Now let's look at what the dots are telling, what the chart is telling us right here. So this is Bitcoin. I got a green dot here on the daily. We caught that big move. You know, it's tough when it's on a Friday because now the weekend it's hard to get a read on, right? And I suggested that don't trade this weekend because we're flat. And that's what I think. King's Mentality says 70s. Final Curse is 79K. Yeah, and what is Crypto Twitter has turned bearish? Of course they've turned bearish. How could you not be by now? I mean, there's still some people out there saying some cocky mammy prices and super cycles and whatnot, and you know, just changing their minds. Like I said last week, Raul Paul, whatever his name is, you know, he gets to speak on stage and you get paid money to do so, and you know, he just changed his mind. He's like, over the summer, I realized something I didn't think of before. It's like, yeah, bro, we've been watching this shit the whole time. So, okay, green dot on the weekly. Okay, Sam, let's take a look. So the daily has a green dot and the weekly does too. However, that weekly dot, because we talked about this in the profit circle, that weekly dot this showed up back here, actually. It wasn't even this week. It was there. It printed this week, but it showed up early. But look how weak it was. And here's the reason why it's weak. And I'm glad you called out the weekly dot. You see how this wave is hell flat? Like, usually if you get a weekly dot, you think you get a bigger move. But that's because the 2 week is still pointing down, right? This right here. The monthly is still pointing down, right? And then I can't even show the 2-month on here. I got to go to the Bitcoin dollar chart. The 2-month even has a red dot right here. And that's why I think the cycle's over. Because here, if you want to look at this, I drew this up. Okay, look. This is 2017. These are this is the 2-month chart. So every candle is 2 months long, okay? Yeah, Bitstamp. That was the top of the cycle on all of these. You get a big wave, a red dot on top of that. Ouch. You know what I'm saying? That's a tough one. Doesn't mean you can't get another pump like we did in 2021. I know that's because Jerome Powell said, transitory. But still, it's not like we never got another green dot. You get that retrace. Boom. Now, doesn't mean we can't get another retrace here, but the fact that this is a red dot, and just clearly we can see what the sentiment is like in the market right now. It's ugly. Now, the other reason, of course, is that the NASDAQ has finally seemed to slow down. Now, the NASDAQ ain't got no 2-month red dot. The NASDAQ has a 1-month red dot showing, though. The NASDAQ's been so freaking relentless. It's a little bit harder to judge it. But this is April. There's going to be like less candles because of the fact that they don't trade on the weekends in the stock market. But this right here, this run, just so you guys know, this run is one of the strongest runs in NASDAQ's history. I'm not exaggerating. This many green candles in a row, 2 monthly green candles in a row, up only, it's huge. We can just look at it. Just look back. I mean, this is coming out of 2022. This was an epic pump. All of these pumps have been epic. But in history, look at how many green dots. This is freaking COVID. We've had a stronger run since COVID, even since post-COVID after that epic crash. So, it's like eventually it's got to take a break. This is a whole bear market right here, okay? So, this is one hell of a bull run. And then even at the top, that's why I called it out in real time. I was like, this is looking like a blow off top to me. And, it doesn't mean that the NASDAQ's going to come straight back down again. But, come on. Now, as we zoom in a little bit here, this is the daily chart in the NASDAQ. This is about as clear of a double top as you can see, So I'm like, okay, well, crypto is for sure going to fall because the NASDAQ comes all the way back up. It almost gets to all-time high. It does not. It rejects. Well, guess what? Bitcoin didn't even come close to coming back to all-time highs. You know what I'm saying? Like that definitely didn't happen in Bitcoin. And you can see some of these lines. I didn't draw these lines afterwards. A lot of these lines were drawn before. So this current line right here, I mean, it played out exactly as I said, right? Literally to the end of where I drew it. Now we're getting a little bounce. Sure, we've got a green dot here. It's not the strongest in the world, That means we know we're going to see a green dot in all these days. So you would like to believe that's bullish for now because of the fact that, it looks like a hidden bullish divergence, meaning that we're getting a higher low, right? That's kind of, that's what this is here, right? So if you go like this, from this peak to this peak, and then from this peak and this is on the 3-day, right? From this peak to this peak. Okay, it looks like it's like a continuation pattern. However, how high does it go? That's a little bit tougher to distinguish. I don't think the bull market is back on. And that is because of the higher time frame. So even though now, yes, we finally got this flat ass weekly green dot, it's not promising to me that much, And by the way, too, the Bitstamp one just appeared here, but the one on the perpetuals appeared early. So you do need to know what you're looking at because those things matter. And on October 10th, by the way, for whoever called out October 10th before, that is the clearest indicator of why you can't just do random TA on the charts without having the oscillator, because the perpetuals contracts, which is what we trade for leverage trading, all tanked way harder on their wicks than on the regular one. Let's just pick one. Bitcoin's an obvious example because this Bitcoin one came down to 101 when it dropped, and then we go to here, and what did it drop to? 104, 103, right? So if you were doing TA based upon this wick, it's different. It's totally different depending on which ticker you're actually looking at. But ultimately, sure, yes, we have a green dot. It's just, to me, it doesn't mean much. And you could tell by the 2-week candle, obviously we didn't shoot back up again. We've been bearish. So again, eventually these waves that crash, somebody wins. But think about it like waves in the ocean. You got a big wave coming down, and then you had a smaller wave crashing into it, like wake in the ocean. Like the smaller wave is going to get engulfed by the bigger wave. Sure, it pushes things this way, but the big wave is going to push it down. A 2-week is significantly bigger than a 1 week. And a week is significantly bigger than a daily. My whole thing is when I discovered Market Cypher B, when CryptoFace put me onto it, this is what I was watching more than anything because I already knew that markets moved in momentum. I was like, okay, we just now have something to measure it. The way I literally look at it like waves in the ocean. So that's why I look at all the time frames. I'm like, okay, just watch this dot right here. This is the daily. Now the 12-hour. you're going to start seeing them like it's like that wave is flattening out. And now look, so now we got on the 6 hour. Now it's starting to roll over. 4 hour, 5 hour, 4 hour, 3 hour, 2 hour, 1 hour. It's just been choppy this week. It's not like the best example in the world here. But basically, these all roll up. So I look at all the time frames starting to roll up to the bigger ones. And part of the reason why I knew it'd be flat this weekend is because you got big waves coming down and big waves going up. And that just equals a bunch of chop, right? It's like it equals each other out. Eventually, something's going to give. So what do? Right? So how do I know what's going to happen next? Well, I'm going to wait till Monday. I'm going to wait till tomorrow and see what the NASDAQ gives us. Okay, so the NASDAQ had a bullish day here, even though crypto was kind of bearish. Crypto could play a little bit of, well, I guess it wasn't that bearish on Friday. I'm sorry, crypto did pump on Friday. We've been flat in the weekend because I think crypto is waiting to see what the hell the NASDAQ is going to do too. Pretty much at this point, everybody knows the NASDAQ is controlling the market. So tomorrow is a day where, yeah, I get up early and I'm going to watch the open and I'm going to see what the NASDAQ doing in the pre-market. But again, I'll probably watch it, right? It's Monday. Anything could be happening in the pre-market. And then, and by the way, the pre-market is going to open at 3 o'clock my time. That's when the CME opens up. And then we're going to see how things are looking in the pre-market. I'm going to watch the first hour of the market. And if it's a clear trend to the upside and say Bitcoin is lagging, then you might go long Bitcoin. If the market is down, if stocks are going down and Bitcoin is holding up, that's where the Wile E. Coyote trade comes in. You pick one of those tickers and then you short it. So join the profit circle, watch it in real time, and we discuss it in real time. So real quick, are we going to do any trading today or not? I got 0 super chats, so guess we ain't doing no trade. If you want to give me some super chats right here, we'll pick a ticker on Breakout prop to trade, and then we'll wrap it up here. But right now, to me, it's not even a great time to trade, to be honest with you. Right now, like I just said, I'm waiting until Monday to see what happens. Oh, I want to go back and visit the logarithmic. This right here. I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly right now. ETH Bitcoin. So this is what I want to say about this. This chart on a daily. So, shout out Ninja Girl for calling us out. What's up with super chat? What's a super chat? Super chat, Kristen, is where you tip me money. Kristen said she's new to this. So you give somebody, you could tip some money. I'm their top fans. I think to do it, I think people have to have an account. There's actually a better way that Randy Hipper showed me. Shout out to Randy Hipper. That is Miss Teen Crypto. I haven't set it up yet because I don't usually get many super chats, but there's an easier way to chat. And so then like your comment will pop up when you give a chat. So if somebody wants to stand out in the chat and say something that they make sure everybody sees, don't miss it, then you can do that. I got to get that set up. Yeah, but super chat is basically just tipping, Kristen. And that is right now I have the default set at like $5. ain't no thing. So anyway, oh, there we go. Blockchain Cowboy. Hey, my man, Blockchain Cowboy, $4.99. Appreciate that. What ticker you want me to look at, Blockchain Cowboy? I'm going to look at I'm going to look at this real quick. So just down here, this L right here, it changes the view. To me, this doesn't really change anything to answer her question, but it doesn't really matter to me unless she was talking about a different setting. Ninja Girl, I don't know why this matters that much. If you are a pattern trader, what a pattern trader is, they look at these patterns and they see things. It's kind of like an ink blot test or the constellations in the sky, okay? To me, those are risky. I don't trust patterns that much. There's some that I think make more sense than others, like Head and Shoulders. But I don't know, man. That cup and handle we were talking about, that cup and handle, me and Blockchain Cowboy, I just don't buy it, man. I've seen it fail too many times, like flipping a coin. You're going to be right or wrong sometimes. And the people who believe in it only highlight the times they're right, and they ignore all the other times it didn't work. Okay. Now, trend lines are a real thing, and she had this called out on the screenshot she sent to me, so I basically redrew it. And she at the top of all these wicks, there was a breakout here, and it happened to be a little breakout, came back, bounced off of this. Okay, maybe that's the thing. To me, though, I don't trade Ethereum to Bitcoin, so this doesn't matter to me. And that's very important because you see a lot of these macro people pull out these random charts all the time to explain stuff that isn't actually applicable to how you make money. And that's what it's kind of like becoming a pet peeve of mine, because basically they're just good at, smoking mirrors and shit. And so for someone like me who's been around long enough to see behind the curtain of the Wizard of Oz, I'm like, that's just noise. There's so much noise in crypto and trading that distracts new people. And the hardest thing is for me to tell you, don't worry about it, because all the smart people want to know, what did that person know and how do they figure it out? It's not until you go through all of it and realize that most of it is just freaking noise. So that's why on the top of my YouTube channel, it says Trading Made Easy. I cut out all the noise. Now, trend lines are real. I just don't know where to enter or exit a Bitcoin trade or an Ethereum trade based upon this chart that is ETH to Bitcoin. unless I am swapping specifically ETH to Bitcoin. Hey, thank you, Kristen. Much love to Kristen out there. I got to heart that. Super chat. Well, Kristen, do you got a ticker you want me to trade? You want me to look at? Okay, so Blockchain Cowboy says TRX. I'm going to definitely look at the top tippers. Actually, and I say that if you guys seen the song Bitcoin Bestie, right? I say special shout out to the last tipper. Bitcoin Bestie, Randy Hipper. That shoe fit like a glass slipper. That's my Bitcoin Bestie. All right, let's see. He says TRX. All right, let's check out TRX. TRX was really bullish this cycle. Tron, known simply as Tron. That was, man, me and CryptoFace, and we love talking about Tron. Because I'm like, Tron was the most bullish. Tron is one of the 8 tickers that was more bullish than Bitcoin. Or I should say outperformed Bitcoin since the last cycle. There was only 8 tickers. We had 20,000 cryptos last cycle, and only 8 of them outperformed Bitcoin leading into this when this cycle started. Tron was one of them. If you guys don't know what Tron is, Justin's son invented Tron, basically. That's why he's filthy rich. They call him his excellency or whatever on the island he lives on. But Tron is used for really fast, cheap payments. As a matter of fact, when I send money from like my Kraken account to Fimex or whatever, oftentimes I'll just use Tron. It's super cheap and super fast. You don't use the Bitcoin network. Ethereum costs way too much money. Solana fails all the time. I wish they used Algorand, but they don't. Tron is like the best one. Polygon or Tron are the only 2 I use. So Tron is a blockchain that's getting used. All right. Fat Fuzz, yo, he says, right on. Ninja Girl, right on. I'm glad you're still sticking with me, Ninja Girl. All right. So let's take a look at Tron here. It was epically bullish until it wasn't, which is the same old story for most tickers. But what are you trying to do? What time frame, Blockchain Cowboy? Are we looking at a short-term time frame? Look, it's been bullish. Check it out. Let's look at the 1 hour. So it's cooking right now. This has basically permanently been on my bullish ticker list this whole cycle. It's one of those ones, if you want to go long, you've got a good chance of it catching fire. Now, I will say this, because I traded a lot more earlier this year. It doesn't fall exactly in line with Bitcoin. So this is my general premise of a lot of my trading, you guys. I've classified tickers into certain groups. A lot of the quote-unquote the dino coins, like dinosaur coins that are from last cycle, they will pretty closely follow Bitcoin's movement. Like if Bitcoin goes up, they'll go up. Bitcoin goes down, they'll go down. Like literally to the minute, like to the second usually. You know, with a little bit of variations that gives you the opportunity. Some coins, I say they dance to their own tune, meaning they don't follow Bitcoin that closely. You really got to do your own TA on them. And so Tron was kind of one of those coins that would be like a day lag. Like everything would be down and Tron would be up. And then Tron already made his move, so when the rest of the market bounces, Tron wouldn't move. So Tron was a little bit harder. For me, the easiest play would be like, okay, Bitcoin went down. I find a Wile E. Coyote trade that hasn't gone down. I short that, and then it plays catch up to the downside. That was like my bread and butter, right? Just hit those. Tron was a little bit harder to trade unless all of a sudden I thought we were getting bullish sentiment. And then you go long Tron and you get the advantage of it. It's going up. So, okay, so Blockchain Cowboy. The obvious support and resistance is pretty much we're going to look at the top of the last peak, right? That's where we're going to pretty much always start it. So I'm going to go right here. I like white, as you know, for my support and resistance. This was actually an old line. For me, I use red and orange to show where I entered action trades. I like to leave them on the chart. If it gets messy, I can remove it, but it'll jog my memory on, did I enter this trade? What did I do in the past? So this happens to kind of be in a support and resistance zone right now. Let me ask you this. Blockchain Cowboy, are you interested in entering it now, or are you trying to wait for an opportunity? Because, again, this would be, to me, if you're going long, it already made its move. Now I'm waiting to see what happens on Monday with the stock market. That would be my approach here. Now, you could say, if you're bearish and you think it's gotten over its skis here, because obviously Bitcoin is not pumping that much right now. Bitcoin had a little pump and came back down, sideways grind, but Tron has pumped. Are you looking to short it? If you are, well, we've got a target here where it can bounce. So what you do is I'll set like an alert, a little bit higher alert, right? I'll just click that alert. That dot is going to tell me if Tron wants to do something. The key here is down here, right? First thing I'm looking at always is this here. The problem is on this 1 hour chart, you're getting what's called the Christmas tree lights, red, green, red, green. That's not a strong enough signal. And shout out to Matt if Edema's listening. He's the one who called it the Christmas tree lights here. And as you can see, it wasn't, right? You got a red dot here. It didn't mean shit, right? We got all these green dots, red dots, and the price is still going up. So what you have to do in that case is you got to zoom out a little bit. So now there's only one dot on the 2 hour, you see? And that wave's still flat. It's still strong to the upside. So now I got to look at the 3 hour. We do not have a red dot on the 3 hour. So that tells me maybe the 3 hour is the one that is going to determine when this upward momentum has stopped. Now, in order for the 3-hour to print a red dot here, what has to happen is price is going to have to come down a little bit. So you're not going to catch the exact top by the time the 3-hour dot prints. What might happen is it could go sideways for a little bit, and eventually a 3-hour dot will print. Or honestly, what will probably happen is you get a little like this, and then a retracement back up, and then that candle that came back down. Oh, look, it just came. It just came right now. So at 1 o'clock, right? This is a 3-hour chart. We just had a new candle, and that new candle it didn't print, but it shows a 1-hour dot right here live. All right. So this red dot appeared right now because there's a little bit of pullback. To me, that's not the strongest red dot in the world, but for now, it's like, okay, the upward momentum is slowing down. So what we can also do here is we can zoom in on the 10-minute and get a little bit better look. So you can see we've been flat essentially since about here, 1150. So we did get a few 10-minute candles down, a little retrace back down here. Well, blockchain cowboy, we might be onto something here actually, because now look, we got this red dot here. Let's pull it up. Let's pull it up on Breakout Prop. We might be onto something now that we got that 3-hour red dot. That's what I said I was looking for, right? I just said it and they gave it to me. Let me see here. Come on, Tron. The thing about Breakout Prop is it does lag sometimes, so you might want to refresh it. Come on. Anytime you know you're about to make a move, I'd like to refresh it. Let's see. You want to enter that trade? Let's see if we can enter that trade real quick. All right. I haven't traded Tron in here in a while, so $7,000 position. A little bit big just for an experiment in here. Let's do 3,500. Okay, and let me just see real quick. So I'm on the 10-minute. I got my 10-minute red dot. All right, let's go for it. So this is my normal strategy. So I just entered this short right now. Make it a little bit bigger. I enter this short right now on Breakout Prop. Right here, right now on Tron, specifically because I told you I was waiting on the 1 hour was kind of giving me false signals, right? The 2 hour still not, didn't mean anything. I was like, maybe when we get the 3 hour, we happen to get it right when I'm talking to y'all. That's the larger time frame, and now I'm zooming in to see what's going to happen on the shorter time frame. With the 10-minute red dot just appeared. I know we just got it on the hour. Let's see what happens. So now what? I got to set a stop loss. So the first thing you want to do is set a stop loss, right? What happens if you're wrong, right? That's the most important thing. So that goes without saying. So I'm going to set my stop loss right above the last swing wick high, which is right here. So what you're going to do is, I could have did this before I entered, but I wanted to enter fast. So I just click on stop loss. And then what is it? It shows you right here. The top was 28845, 28889, whatever. $25, no big deal, right? So stop loss, where is that showing? Oh, it's a little bit higher. This is the 1 minute chart, by the way. I'm keeping the 1 minute chart open on Breakout Prop. So now what has to happen is price has, if it goes higher than this, I get stopped out. If there's a little scam wick before it drops, I got a little bit of wiggle room. But basically, I'm sitting here. It's not that big of a deal. I lose $25 if it gets stopped out. All right. Now, where's my take profit? So boom. Now we're going to go back to here. In reality, my take profit will be when we get the next 10-minute green dot. This is before scalping. This is a little bit risky because this has been bullish as hell. I might get stopped, right? If this might just continue to go higher. But that's why I have a pretty tight stop loss. However, if this was the top, right? Because this pulled back down and went higher, right? That could happen again. The play would be no matter what, I get out when this 10-minute dot turns green. That's the play. Because I'm hoping, wishing, thinking that, that if that was the top, maybe it does one of these like this, right? That's what I'm hoping. But this is going to tell me when to buy and sell. Because now I'm trading on the 10-minute chart. So I would then zoom in. I would zoom in more, right? I'm looking at the 3-minute. We got a red dot. That's playing out my favor. I want red dots, right? I want price to go down. So now we got a 3-minute red dot. Basically, you got to just wait, right? I want to wait. Because what's going to happen is the 10-minute green dot is not going to happen right away. It's not going to happen until you get a green dot on the 1 minute, a green dot on the 3-minute, and a green dot on the 5-minute. You got to get those three before 10-minute red dot even comes. So I'm comfortable in this trade for now. And then the safety net is that stop loss. But in reality, I'm going to get out before that happens. I'm not going to fight a 10-minute green dot. As soon as the 10-minute green dot appears, I'm out. I might even get out a little before. That's why I stuck the 9-minute up here. But basically, I'm not fighting a 10-minute green dot because this has been a bullish ticker. It's going up high. So now we're in it, and basically we just sitting there and we waiting. So let's see. He said, hell yeah. Okay. Is there a video with a TV setup? With UTV setup? I'm not sure what that means, Maria. Oh, yeah, we did grass last week. Yep. T-Nation. That grass trade, I followed it up a few days later. We got stopped out on a scam. Grass was not my favorite ticker to short. You guys picked it, so I had to go with it because you guys filled up the super chat, so I had to go with it. It was such a sideways ticker that was dancing to its own tune. It wasn't following Bitcoin, and it did one scam wick and stopped us out, and then it tanked. Someone in the group, though, did make money off it, so shout out to that person. That's also why I like watching it in real time. I want to see my dots. It gives me an exact entry, whereas we had set that in advance. Oh, we're trading view energy. I don't have a video that shows that, but I'll show you right now what trading view indicators I use. My main one is market cipher, Maria. So I click on here. Let me get this a little bit bigger. That was your bad, blockchain cowboy, that we did that one. You and Jesse said that one was cool, I think. Okay. Yeah, in the private Discord, I show the indicator. So my main one is market cipher. Market cipher B. That's all of this stuff down here. It's the waves, it's the oscillators, it's this VWAP here. For this specific scalping strategy, I have simplified it. You can see most of my indicators are turned off. If they're grayed out, they're turned off. Market cipher A is up here. That's turned on. I'm not really using it right now for this, though. The CME gaps just shows the weekend, which I really do like because it sets a marker that's clearly easy to see. This is when the weekend started right here at 3 o'clock. And you could clearly see that this was bullish compared to Bitcoin on the weekend, right? Bitcoin was flat. Again, I mean, Tron is not my favorite ticker to short. It's one of my favorites to go long, actually, in volume. I'm not using hardly any indicators right now. Hardly any. But I do have some other ones. This Williams indicator, KC.%R. I don't know. You turn on too many of these, and all that happens is you clutter up the chart. Like how many of these lines? I draw enough lines, eventually it's going to bounce off something. That's why I don't really do TA based upon here. I'm mostly doing down here. The trend lines and stuff are cool to look at, but you just start getting too many false indications, and it just throws you off. Got the moon phases. Oh my gosh, that's too much. Let me close that. Moon phases from full moon or whatever. I don't trade off that. I was just looking at it one time. Here's the EMA. So those are moving averages. Yeah, I'm really not using many indicators for scalping. Scalping, you got to have it simple. There's not enough time. Not enough time to do a million types of TA. Yep, all good, Maria. Yeah, so the scalping strategy is the simplest one. We're not getting any action right now. I'm not going to sit here all day, but I will keep this trade open, and I'll follow up with you guys in the profit circle. So let me come back to Breakout prop real quick. A little $3,500 on it. It's cool. So white means it just was no movement at all, right? That's how you know a ticker ain't doing shit, when it's just hella whites. I got Ethereum over here. So what I'll do is usually I'll put Bitcoin on the other side. If I'm only trading one ticker, I'll put Bitcoin over here because Bitcoin's kind of like the market, right? So I'm watching this, and I'm just kind of seeing, these are also 1 minute to see how relative movement, is it bullish or bearish? Well, honestly, Blockchain Cowboy, I think it's a little bit bullish compared to Bitcoin, right? Like Bitcoin had a peak here. That's this peak here, right? What's the 9 a.m.? Let me see. If we zoomed in all the way, and like I said, Tron kind of dances to its own tune. This is this little peak here. That's this peak, right? So that is at 1206. Bitcoin peaked a little bit earlier. Tron held up. It came down. This is not the best ticker to short as far as at the moment. Everything is flat as hell, though, so it's hard to say. The good thing is it's Sunday, right? So this is what we've been noticing. A lot of stuff will pump on the weekend, and then, of course, it will dump on Monday or, like, the end of Sunday. So, and by the way, crypto weeks start on Monday. So technically tonight at 5 p.m. is Monday morning UTC time, which is the weekly time frame that's starting for crypto. So when you look at a weekly candle, Sunday is the last day of the weekly candle. Monday is the beginning of it. You know what I'm saying? Let me see here. All right. So anyways, that was it. We're in this thing, though. So we got my stop loss here. Where are we going to want to set the take profit? So now I got to set a take profit just in case, right? So let me show you where I set my take profit. Blockchain Cowboy, right? Big tipper here. Well, Kristen is the biggest tipper. Did Kristen leave a ticker that she wants to trade? I don't think she said anything after that tip. Did she? Let's see. Did Kristen leave a ticker she wants? I gotta special shout out to the last tipper. Gotta make sure the tippers get what they want. All right, so now we want to look at this. Where do we want to set our take profit on Tron? Well, if we're bearish and we're not, let's say I can't watch it, right? In reality, I would want to sit here and watch it. I can't do that today. Got shit I got to do. But I would be watching this for when this turns green on the 10-minute. I'm out. Take my profit. Hopefully I'm in profit. If not, I'm cutting a small loss. I'm not getting hit badly. That's the main thing. Next, okay, Kristen, next time we'll have a ticker for me next week. I'm sure you'll have a good one for me next week, Kristen. You have a week of studying and up close and personal on the charts, we'll say. All right, so now we're going to see where we want to take. So Blockchain Cowboy, I mean, do we think this is a complete fluke? Do we think, what the hell's going on here, right? 3-hour red dot. Boy, if we're in a trading range, this orange line is almost right where it is. But let's say a little more, I don't want to be too aggressive. Let's say it's about right here. This is the trading range between these two white lines, right? If we're in a trading range, a range means, things kind of go up. It means things are going to kind of go up, down, right? You can kind of see, sure, they went below the trading range here, but, it's never a perfect chart here, but you can kind of see, You can kind of see the trading range has been here, even if you go back to here, right? It's been doing its thing right here. If it goes higher and we get stopped out at 2.889, no big deal. By the way, let me draw it on the chart here. I didn't draw it. Oops. What I personally do, so a lot of people like to use this widget here, which is great. It just takes too much time, but we'll do it for the sake of this. So I entered about here, and we would say we were doing our stop loss, 2.889. So you double click it. Let's see. Stop loss 2.889. And then let me make sure I got the entry of the exact. My entry was 28787. So now we've got to figure out where's the stop loss going to go. I mean, where's the take profit going to go? Well, if we went back to, I like sometimes just coming all the way back down to the CME gap, right? If we think that was fake, this whole pump was fake, this weekend's fake, and Monday's going to dump, this could dump all the way back down. That's giving us a 7.68 reward to risk ratio. That's a nice one right there, Blockchain Cowboy, right? That would be a nice one. I would take less than that, but that would be a whopper. The other option would be if you raised up this a little bit, sure, it's a shorter percentage, but it gives you more wiggle room if you think it was going to do that, and you're still getting a nice ratio. I say we keep it. We keep our tight stop. And the reason I say that is because this started out as a scalp, and I don't want to lose more money than I thought. And, and I would probably take profit early if I see that 10-minute turn. Now, the downside is I don't trade Breakout on my phone. In emergencies, I can get in there and close a trade, but I don't open trades on my phone, and I'm going to be leaving the road here. So that's why I definitely want to set a take profit. So far, so good, though. Check it out. The red dot on the 10 minutes doing its thing, right? We're green. I'm up $5 right now. We're technically green, right? So far, so good. But let me go back to here. Where do I want to set the take profit? Let's say, if that was the top and it gives back everything for the weekend, that's conceivable, right? You can see this perfect head and shoulders it gave this weekend. Kind of tough call right now because I would like to see what happens on Monday. But let's say we want to set something. The other place you could set it would be about the top of it. Check this out. Look at this trend line. Look at this one right here. Boom. Right? Look at all these peaks. A lot of stuff was bouncing off these peaks. To me, that's a clear line of support and resistance. It just broke through and shot up, right? That was a clear line right here. We could take profit there. Look at this, all the way back. That's a clear line of support and resistance. Just in case it wants to come down and bounce off there, right? So what would that give us? That would give us a 5.3, a 5-to-1 risk to reward ratio. That's cool. That's cool with me. So let's say here I got to lock it. Right click on it, and then you click lock so so I don't accidentally move it. Let's stick with that, right? So I double click on it. That gave me the price of, take profit was 2.8. I can just copy it. Come back over here. I know you guys can't see it. Come back over here to breakout prop. I'm going to double click on it on the position. This opens up my take profit here. Paste it. Let's see if it works. Okay. So yeah. So look, I lose $25 if I'm wrong, but I gain 137 if I'm right. So now if we go like this a little bit, we can see that's what we're working with here. Stop loss is pretty tight stop. You feel good about it. Like if I'm wrong and this trend continues, we didn't catch the top, I only lose $25. Not that bad. And that's when when you look at this risk to reward, 5.3 to 1. That ain't bad. You'll take that. Anybody will take that. Any trader will take that. So it's worth it. And here's the thing: if let's say I get stopped out on this, right? We don't make it. We wait till Monday. We see what's going on. If Monday's bearish, we might enter the trade again, and with another $25 stop, and then that time we win $130. that minus 25, like the trade isn't quote unquote over yet, really. You know what I'm saying? It ain't over until I say it's over. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's, again, Tron's a little bit bullish ticker to me, so I don't like shorting this one. If it was some super duper shit coin like my favorites I have, I would be like, I know it's going to drop. So it's like I can take a stop, wait it out, wait for that momentum, take another stop, wait for that momentum, and then boom, you enter, and then eventually you make it all the way back down on another one. So, you know, it's okay to get stopped. If you know the Wile E. Coyote is coming, take your short stop and watch. You're watching, you know, we're zoomed in here. You're watching these momentum waves. You're going to see. You're going to wait. You're going to take your time. No reason to rush it. But this is why trading is mostly boring. I'm over here now, man, talking to you guys. I'm trying to make it unboring. I try to rap and shit on my show to make it unboring. But most of the time, you just hurry up and wait. That's most of what trading is, to be honest with you. That's why people like doing set it and forget it, like this one, right? I can walk away now. You know, according to my TA, either this train wins or loses, and now I don't spend my whole life watching it. If you're scalping, you're going to be watching, because I'm watching those momentum waves churn. But damn, this weekend has been so slow. I don't want to sit here and watch this crap. We're going to stick with this setup. I think it's a good setup. If I lose, I'm not disappointed by a lot. We know what our next time to look at would be this dotted line, right? If this I would get stopped out here, and maybe I'll get stopped and it'll drop. But this dotted line is where I put like right below this to alert me to take a look. I have a feeling that if I'm wrong, Monday will be when we re-enter this trade. We'll get a pump on Monday, and maybe the end of the day Monday, or maybe beginning of Tuesday is when this will reverse. I don't think this is going to go straight up, you know, forever. It's going to drop eventually, which is probably why you called this one out in the first place. All right, that's pretty much all I got for y'all today. Let me see real quick. We already went over the breakout prop leverage trading video today. Make sure you like the stream, share it with your boys, share it with your girls. It was great to see some women in the chat today. We got Maria, we got Kristen, and we have I know her real name. I'm not trying to put her on blast. Ninja Girl. So it was great to see some ladies in the chat. Cassius Cuvée and the Profit Circle is definitely friendly to women. So make sure you join the Profit Circle. Also, again, referral codes up here. They don't just help me, they help you. Breakout Prop GGRF7W gets you a discount on every single evaluation you purchase. So if you just want to have a flat rate amount of money that you know you could lose, and that's basically what an evaluation is. You're buying it for, say, $999, $1,000 we'll call it. You get a $100,000 account. If you blow that up, you know what you lost. It's already spent. As a matter of fact, it's already gone. But on the upside, you can just keep making more and more and more money. And that's the appeal of a prop firm. Not all prop firms are created equal. Breakout Prop is the most legit one that I've ever used and I've ever seen. So that's why that's the only one that I'm talking about. I may explore others in the future, but for now, it's only Breakout Prop. Fimex is a leverage trading platform. It's your own money on there, but you can go up to 100x leverage on mini tickers and 50x on pretty much all the rest. So that's where your money can go longer as well. So anyways, Profit Circle, you get free access to the Profit Circle. That is the Discord. Go here. That's where we discuss our trades and our setups. Anybody is welcome to join the general chat. If somebody can check that link for me, I got to talk to my admin right after this and tell them we need a new link. I'm going to have to put it in the videos again, I guess, and all the old videos. But this link here, that link that I just put in there should work. Takes you to the general chat. Anybody can go in there and post anything. Any spammers or scammers get kicked out pretty quick. So I run a clean ship. To get to the premium side, to get all the other channels over here, that's where you want to use my free Fimex code, GMMNX5, to create an account. That's totally free, but I'd rather have you deposit money in there. Normally, it's $99 a month, but you get a month for free if you just create an account with Fimex using my code. I also do, and this is one thing I forgot to tell you guys because I've been doing it for so long, and I usually get them from like personal clients and business professionals and stuff. I do one-on-one consulting as well. I charge $350 an hour for businesses, $250 for friends and family. So if you're watching this, you friends and family, so $250 an hour for individuals. If anybody does want one-on-one training and wants to learn how to use Market Cipher, I do one-on-one training. So next year I'm going to probably be doing more giveaways. I did earlier when I started live streaming some one-on-one giveaways for free for 1 hour of my time, or to do one-on-one training and really learn Market Cipher or scalping strategy one-on-one with me. So that's what I charge for that, $250 an hour for friends and family. So if you guys ever want one-on-one, just email me. The email is in the description of this video. Let's see. Yeah, I just watched some of the notes. I would just ask yourselves, is it easier to predict 10 years, 10 minutes, or 10 seconds from now, right? Obviously, the short-term time is easier. Risk management is the key. I think that's... there's last thing I wanted to mention. I forgot about this. In trading, there are two types of psychology. There's market psychology, and then there's your personal trader psychology. Market psychology is referencing like what is the overall market doing, like as a collective. Right now, as a collective, it's been bearish, right? Right now, for crypto at least, it's been bearish. Trader psychology is like, do I stick to my discipline? If I think this stop, like I told you guys that this 10-minute red dot, green dot is where I get out. Oop, we got it. I didn't set the alert. So technically, I'm supposed to get out of this trade right now. Blockchain cowboy. I'm supposed to cut my losses on this trade right now. So I'm going to do it because we got the 10 minutes. I'm going to stick to the strategy, stick to the trader psychology. Let me show you guys real quick. So all I did was double click on that to open this and get out. So what I lose, I only lost $5 plus some. I lost $10 plus there because there's commission trading fees, right? So I lost $10 on that trade. No big deal, right? It didn't get smacked in the face. At least it wasn't the full 25. So if I was scalping, what I would do now is I would be waiting for the next 10-minute green dot. So this is what I do. I come back here. Okay, cool. So now this is not even, we don't even need this on the chart no more. But that's okay. Down here, I'm watching. And here's why, this is my suspicion. This could go higher. In which case, we'll be very happy that we only took a $10 loss if this decides to keep pumping, right? So instead of taking a $25 hit, we only took a $10 hit because the $5 trading fees and $5 for what we lost. That's cool. Who cares? If this rolls back over again, and this is what you can do. You can set an alert. So all you got to do is double click on here. You got to like get on the indicator. Not like that. Shit. Right click on here. Actually, right click on it. Right click on it. You click this. It goes by the time frame you're on, the 10-minute. What you're going to do is click on red dot. So now what's going to happen is the next time there's a red dot, I'm going to get a notification. It'll pop on my phone or whatever. It'll give me a notification that now a red dot is here in the 10-minute, which for my strategy, that's when I want to enter. So if I got to use the bathroom, I got to get some food or something like that, I see that indicator, I want to jump. Now, in reality, I would love to have my finger right on the trigger when it first happens. But that's why it's good to have the indicator because I didn't even see it, right? I was talking to y'all. It was in a different screen. I didn't see it. I would have saved myself probably $1 or $2. Who knows what I would have saved myself if I had gotten out right when it turned green. No big deal. The point is, we didn't take as big a loss as we thought. But here's the thing. If this comes back, that might be the one. You know what I'm saying? That might be the one that brings us back down again. I don't know. But you'll make up for the $5 you lost here. You make up for the $5 you lost here, the $10 you lost here. That's the strategy. It's not a one-trade strategy. It's a scalping system where you're in and out, and then you're net positive because eventually you catch that big move when you're trading with the trend. In this case, it was the 3-hour because I was looking for that. But, like, it'd be nice. We do have technically a 2-hour red dot and technically a 1-hour red dot. We technically do. So, yeah, this would be a good time to do the strategy on this. I just think we're so boring and sideways right now. I don't know if a drop is coming anytime soon. However, it doesn't matter. You stick to the strategy. You're going to get back in as soon as there's a red dot here. You could cheat ahead. Remember, you could cheat ahead. We're looking at the 5-minute, 3-minute, 1 minute, right? See how the 1 minute's going to come first. Oh, shit, I'm on the screen. My bad. See how the 1 minute's going to come first, right? The 1 minute's going to come first. But we don't enter on a 1 minute. That's too many false positives. 3-minute. Once we get the 1 minute red dot, okay, we're going to watch the 3-minute. Once we get the 3-minute red dot, okay, we're going to watch the 5-minute. Once we get the 5-minute red dot, now we're ready. We're getting ready. You know, we're going to see it because what's going to happen is you might see a big move like this candle here, and you're like, okay, I know that. I don't even need to click it. I know the 10 minutes coming, and you just enter, and then same deal. Then we just wait. Same deal. Like this, that wasn't that strong. It was strong enough to give us a green dot on the 10-minute, which might scare me. It's not worth the risk. Just get out. Who cares about the $10, right? Because remember, if I scalp this all the way down, I'm going to make $137. So that minus 10 2 or 3 times, it doesn't really matter. All you need to do is be net positive in the long run. And again, I'm not even using that much money. You know what I'm saying? I got $122,000 I can use right here, and I'm using $3,500. As a matter of fact, I could increase it. And there's the cool thing about it. You can, if you do it here, it'll save your last one. So maybe 7,200 was, I probably had it on that amount because that was a conservative amount, right? For this ticker, this doesn't move that much. Tron is not as wild as some of the other tickers. It's a bigger altcoin. It's not quite as volatile as some of the crazy ones. So yeah, so next time I do it, maybe I'll do it on 7,200 when I enter. You know, because losing $10 really wasn't that much, right? It'd be doubled. It would have been $20 basically. And so that'll be our, you know, what we would lose, no big deal, because we would gain twice as much also, right? That $137 potential win would be, you know, $260, $270. You know, that you see how that starts adding up. You hit a couple of those. You know, over the course of a day, before you know it, you hit 3 of them, and now you're making $1,000 a day. And that's a real number. And again, not even using the whole 100K. You know what I'm saying? That's using $7,500. You can make $1,000 a day. That's not fake. So then, for me personally, when I'm locked in scalping, I'm using anywhere between $20,000 to $45,000. It depends on what ticker, because some tickers you really don't need as much money to get way more volatility. But I'm never using, I won't say never, but I'm not using usually much more than 50K of the bankroll when I'm in. And that's only because I got a swing strategy where I've kind of averaged down some. But it depends. I will say this. You want to get used to your ticker and how big of a bankroll that ticker is going to move. Because the main point is you don't want to get wrecked. So you got to have a position sizing that if something were to go against you, you're not going to take a $1,000, $2,000 hit hella quick. Which crazy? 50K gets crazy to you? It depends on the ticker. You know what I'm saying? Tron ain't that ain't that much on Tron or BNB or something. The 50,000 ain't that much. But you couldn't do that. They don't even let you do that on some of the really small tickers. They cap you at 10 or 20, whatever it is. So, anyways, that's what I'll be looking at right now, Blockchain Cowboy. If you want, your instinct is not dead wrong. We'll see what happens here. If this never makes a new higher high here, then maybe this is the top for Tron for this weekend. That could be, right? We're getting late on a Sunday here. This could be the end. If this never comes back over here, you're going to re-enter on that next 10-minute red dot, and you're going to be cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, get out on this green 10-minute dot just in case you're wrong, right? We'd rather be rich than right. Just in case. I could afford to go down $25. I could and hope that this doesn't get stopped. But if I'm watching it, I'm not going to sit there and let myself go from -5 to -25. Why am I doing that shit? You know what I'm saying? Because what if it does this? And then down. And I'll be mad that I gave up this money and went down here. I'd rather just wait. And then when it rolls over, then I'll be re-entering here. Actually, as a matter of fact, I won't be re-entering there because I'll be re-entering probably here, which ironically would still be in my zone, but on the way down, you're trading with the trend. And that's why I don't really like limit orders, because by definition, you're not trading with the trend. You're thinking you're so smart that it's going to go up here and stop right where you put it at and then come back. Yeah, right, So it's better to watch it, and then when it does, it comes back down. You might enter here. Hell, we might even enter this trade again here. Who cares? And then it comes back down, right? The point is we didn't lose much money because we were trading off of this, not off of this. That's basically the point. So to me, for my scalping strategy, it's all about what's going on down here. And again, it's boring, but whatever. We're trying to make money. Boring is part of the game. So anyways, that's pretty much all I got for you today. But the market psychology is one thing, but your personal trader psychology is another thing. The only other thing I want to say is, let's go. Music video dropping soon. Me and your boy Loudmouth down there in South Beach doing it big. You're going to see some of your favorite crypto influencers in there too, as well as some other fan favorites. Man, there were some great models at a fashion show out there, I got to tell you. Let's see, was there any other little secret things I want to put in here? Let's see here. I put some screenshots up here. We got the 3,400% win because I knew we were at the top. Oh, there it is. The debut of the Let's Go album cover. I knew I wanted to show you guys something. So that's the song cover for Let's Go. And it's coming soon. Your boy Cassius Cuvée and Loudmouth doing it big down there in Miami. And boy, that's a hype song. That's a hype. Look, I'm gonna show you guys a little sneak of it again, right here. This one.
We high.
Let's go.
Hold on. Let me get my P&L out the way. All right, one more time for the one time, and we'll close the show with this.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yes. Kristen on fire. Let's go. That's what's popping. It's your boy Cassius Cuvée, and this is the come up. Make sure you tap into the Profit Circle, man. 7 days a week. We got traders in there doing big things, calling out setups. Listen, sometimes the best trade is no trade. So right now, we're just waiting and watching. First things Monday, though, we will be there. So holla at your boy. Peace, y'all.